pocket bags. Fold the pocket bag in half with the wrong sides facing each other. Sew a straight stitch on the bottom edge with a 1/4 seam allowance. Flip the pocket bag around with right sides together, press and sew another straight stitch. So it's wrong sides together that we're folding it in half.
Today, we're tackling our very first set of French seams.
We need to press. Press, press, press.
The project I'm currently working on calls for 2 pocket bags that are closed on the bottom with French seams to encapsulate the raw edges. So that's what we're going to do today. The first step is, of course, my favorite. We get to iron the pieces so that they lay properly while we're French seaming them. Clearly, I'm really confident using my brain to figure out the seam allowances, so I am just measuring because I also don't trust the lines on my sewing machine for some reason. Once I decided I knew what a 1/4 inch seam allowance looked like, I got to work sewing the first seam. With a French seam, you start out with the wrong sides together, which is a little bit counterintuitive to sewing, but it works out in the end. I did a 1/4 inch seam allowance with the wrong sides together, then you flip everything inside out and make sure your corner is nice and poked out. I used a chopstick to get mine all the way pushed out on the inside. And then it's time to press it again.
Back to the iron.
So we pressed that seam out to make sure it was nice and crispy and flat. And then back to my machine where I'm once again remeasuring because why would we trust the pre-measured lines on our sewing machines? So now you're gonna do a 3/8 inch seam allowance, which basically fully encapsulates the previous seam that you had sewn, which means that it's all tucked in nicely on the inside.
It was like a big seam allowance, but
I decided to flip it out again and just see what it looked like, and that's the finished product. I'm honestly not 100% sure I did this right. It worked. The edges are not raw, but who knows?
ta-da! We did it. I don't know if this is right though. This is correct. Hope so.